whatever life holds in store for me, I will never forget these words. With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift, my curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
So we just saw Spider-Man.
We sure did.
Spider-Man was amazing.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
This is a Insta take, no spoiler. It's kind of hard to not talk about this movie without spoilers. I give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, no. I said 9 out of 10.
Changed
9
out
out
of
10.
10.
I changed that to 9 out of 10.
Stand by my 10 out of 10.
There is a reason why I give this movie 9 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10, but I can't say why it's 9 out of 10 without giving a spoiler away.
Yeah, I apparently blew it, but it's whatever.
Yeah, you did. I tried calling a friend of mine and giving no spoilers, and you gave like 5.
That's why you don't call people right after movies if you know they haven't seen it.
You just don't give spoilers. It's that simple. Anyway, I said that acting was a 7 out of 10. No one's getting an Oscar for this movie. No one.
And no one said they had to. I still really thoroughly enjoyed it, so I will give it.
I didn't say that I didn't enjoy it.
9.5.
No,
Sure.
Stop.
I love everybody
There
in
is
the
no
movie.
9.5 acting in this movie. Nobody. No, not a
And
single
that's
soul.
your opinion.
No.
Yep.
No.
That's why you have a podcast, to give your opinion.
Nobody gave a 9.5 out of 10. First of all,
I'm
we
sorry.
don't give halves on this podcast.
Okay, 9 then.
No, nobody gave a 9.
I just did.
No, nobody gave.
Actually.
Nobody gave a 9. Okay. Humor 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie was really funny.
Yeah.
It was a Marvel movie.
It went like this.
Yeah. The ties to the MCU, I also gave like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. You can't say anything about spoiling anything, so I'm just trying to not spoil anything because I am Tom Holland when it comes to that stuff.
The kind of overall Spider-Man stuff, once again, obviously very, very hard. The trailer were super interesting about the trailers did what they needed to do, and they didn't give away a lot of the movie. There was still some stuff that I was surprised with.
Yeah.
Okay, hiccup, sorry. Dang it, what was I going to say? It is really hard to talk about this without spoilers.
In the trailers, they show some of the people that come from the previous movies.
Yeah, and then we also had, I guess that's not a spoiler.
So we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we had the villains. I think that all the villains that came back did a really good job on the acting side. I think that they
didn't show every villain.
I just don't think that Tom Holland is that strong of an actor. But he had some emotional scenes that were very, very good.
Yeah, which is why I bumped my rating up, because he did. I think he nailed it, but that's my opinion.
The emotions of this movie were really, really good. A lot of highs, a lot of lows.
Mm-hmm. I said, really good comedic moments.
Yeah, like really, really high. Like I felt great about the movie, and then super sad because of stuff that was happening.
Right. At one point, I went from crying to woohooing and screaming to crying and then laughing again, then crying again. So
I think we had a good audience too.
Yeah, we were in a good group.
Yeah,
I would say.
Not our friends; they suck.
Oh my God.
They were terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But the actual
just the crowd
audience
in general
the
in
crowd,
the theater
that's
was
a big
real
thing.
hype. Yeah,
that's a big thing.
You can't watch a movie that's been dropped the first weekend. Well, and it was the first night too that we saw it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a really bad audience in there with you, it just brings the whole mood of the movie down. So I'm really happy we had a good group.
Yeah, I want to see the movie again.
Absolutely. I don't care who crowds in there.
How did you feel about the CGI? rating. Don't go too much into detail, but if you had to give a 1 out of 10.
I wasn't really paying attention so much to that. I was just kind of trying to take it all in, so I'd have to do that
we saw it on a smaller
later.
We saw it on a smaller
yeah,
screen
the quality
too.
on that screen was not my favorite.
It wasn't great.
Not even
I still think that some of the CGI for obvious reasons, there's even in the Sam Raimi movies, which if you don't know, the Sam Raimi is the original Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, which is 1, 2, and 3, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. That CGI, even at that time, at times I felt held up a little bit more than this movie. And I don't think that was because of what the screen we were watching. I think that the CGI in this movie would be my biggest critique. I give CGI like a 7 out of 10. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I feel like on that screen too, for sure. But I feel like the detail that they took into consideration with certain people. I don't want to say names.
Yeah, you can't say names.
But
can't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it.
So with certain people,
use your mind
in the movie. I'm not a creative person. We're just gonna put that out there.
You are a creative person. You can think of sentence. Listen, you can spell better than me, so that means that you can describe things just as good, if not better. Not
entirely true. I just proofread your stuff. You come up with all the ideas.
That's if I send it to you to proofread, which that doesn't happen.
Anyways, I would have to agree with you in the presence of what we saw on that particular screen, because, like you said, it wasn't.
It wasn't just all the screen. I agree, but I want to see it again in a better formatted. Better format. I don't know if this is an IMAX movie though. Dune was an IMAX movie. This is not an IMAX movie.
There was one scene where I felt very 3D Spider-Man movie at Universal, and I was like, okay, I need this in IMAX.
See, I felt like that a lot of the times, but that's not a bad thing.
Right. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I want to see it more like coming towards me.
But you need 3D glasses, or you just want to see it in IMAX?
No, I just want to see it in IMAX. I don't need 3D because I want to enjoy it. Well,
see,
I guess maybe now that I've seen it.
IMAX in this movie wasn't shot for IMAX cameras, so that's a whole nother thing.
Well, then I think we just need to go to a different theater then.
I felt like it was dark, but we had the best seats in the house.
Yeah, I do personally, I like being higher up in the theater, so, and we were all on one platform. We weren't on a separate level.
It was still considered stadium seating.
Yeah.
It was still leveled.
All right, we're talking about the theater too much.
The acting, once again, I still give like a 7 out of 10. The ties to the MCU, I give like a 9 out of 10. Humor, 10 out of 10. Overall, I put this movie, this isn't a spoiler, this has become my second favorite Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. So Winter Soldier is my first favorite. I put this above the Guardians movies. I love the Guardians movies, but for me, my current standing for MCU movies, and of course that doesn't include other Spider-Man movies, that doesn't include other Sony movies that are not included in the MCU, but I'm going Endgame, and then I'm going Spider-Man No Way Home, and then I'm going Guardians 2 and Guardians 1. That's what I said. Oh.
You said Endgame.
Sorry. Winter Soldier, Spider-Man No Way Home, Endgame. That's my top 3, and then Guardians 2, Guardians 1, and then the list goes on from there. It was that good.
Yeah, I just need to go on a marathon everything, and then
I cried. I cried in this movie. Yeah. I legitimately teared up.
I cried 3 times.
Happy and sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very mixed emotion of tears.
We all know that her name's escaping me. MJ.
Oh, Zendaya.
Yeah. How do you feel about her with...
Chef's kiss.
Really?
Yeah, I like her.
Really?
Yeah, you don't, but I like her. Yes.
Really?
You're going to keep asking me the same thing until I give you a different answer. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not feeling her. Maybe she just hasn't had enough... well, I don't want to get into... Maybe that if people consider that spoilery. Yeah, anyway, I felt that... I can't even talk about it. I don't want people to think that's a spoiler. 100%, I thought that was money well spent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we went and saw it in the movie theater. It was amazing.
I think everyone nailed their role in this movie.
The pacing was really, really good.
Yes, we did talk about that.
For it being such a long movie, a lot of people were concerned about, this is going to be too much put into one movie. I thought the pacing of the movie overall was really, really good.
Yeah.
if you are a big thing that we need to come back to, once again, this is not a spoiler. The main point of this movie is Peter's morality, which is so great because, like Superman in the DC universe, his morality and why he does the things that he does is a huge part of who he is and who makes him Superman. And Peter Parker being Peter Parker is, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, and that's a huge thing of who Peter is. And not wanting to kill people, not using weapons, Batman-esque type stuff, but his morality is his biggest thing. It's not that he's the third or fourth smartest, maybe even the second smartest person in the MCU, or even in the Marvel universe as a whole. It's not any of those things. It's his morality that makes Peter Peter. And this movie does such a good job on explaining why Peter Parker is Peter Parker from multiple points of view. Which is really, really good. And there's a point in movies that I feel like people want to go and watch movies because they just want to be entertained. And that's perfectly fine. That's not why I watch movies. I want to be told a story, and I want depth to the movie. And I do feel like that this had a tinge bit more depth than other Marvel movies. Especially when it came to how the plot went overall, why Peter made the choices that he made, and people that intervened into Peter's decision making and helping him make the right decision.
Yeah.
When it came to the movie,
His course of action in this movie.
Yeah, and a lot of people helped him with that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that you see throughout the comics and even the Spider-Man movies that we have now, whether it was Gwen Stacy or Aunt May or Ben. Or we have, or even Flash, we have all these people in the Peter Parker Marvel side that show us who Peter is and why he is the way that he is. And I think that this movie did just a really good job. The reason why I give this movie a 9 out of 10, I can't say it due to this being a non-spoiler, but they had like something that was so on the nose in this movie that they did not do. And we're going to end up making a spoiler where we talk about this movie in depth, and I can go into detail, but there's something that was so blaringly obvious in this movie. And
you guys have a week, people.
Huh?
You have a week.
Yeah. So spoiler, well, no, the spoiler thing is going to be out before that, but the spoiler embargo for the social medias and all that is going to be a week, and then it's full spoilers everywhere. If you want to talk about this in detail and spoilers, you can go on the KonKon's Cantina Discord. Links are in the bio for everything. Linktree or Linktr.ee/KonKonscantina, and you can find the Discord in the Cantina of Heroes section. We'll be talking about this movie in depth. But there's a huge part that I don't know why they didn't do what they did, and it would have made a movie a 10 out of 10 for me personally. Like, that's just a me personally thing. Other people probably give it a 10 out of 10. Like, when I first saw the movie and it was over, I was like, 10 out of 10. Why is our dog barking? Anyway, 10 out of 10. I was like, 10 out of 10. And then when I thought about it, of course, I digested some stuff. I was like, okay, 9 out of 10. Like, it's not a perfect movie.
Yeah, like you said, no one's going to win an Oscar or Grammy or anything like that. But I think I'm getting my awards mixed up. But I still think that it's a solid movie. Like, I would not.
Yeah, it's a solid movie.
For reasons I can't say right now, there are those reasons why I'm still sticking to my 10 out of 10. I understand where you're coming from, which is why you're not giving it a 10 out of 10, which we can't talk about.
You heard what I said, though, why it's not 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I mean, it's, okay, music. I thought the music was on the weaker side.
See, and I wasn't paying attention to that just because I was so enthralled with what was happening visually on the screen.
Uh-huh.
So I would have, like I said, like I like to watch the movie.
You got to watch it again.
Yeah.
But there's that instant take. But that's another thing that I think that would contribute to my 9 out of 10. No, yeah, my 9 out of 10 is that I don't think that there was actually enough music. I think that.
Yeah, I would have to say that because I didn't really notice it too much. I'd have to say that then that means that there wasn't enough.
And when we look at like Cruella, and
Cruella's soundtrack.
Even the Avenger movies. Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, they had their music in this that was Marvel music that you could pick it out from.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I could have only told you one scene in this entire movie where I was like, okay, I know that song.
Well, and which I think might have been the point too, so that you weren't paying attention so much to the soundtrack, but more of what was going on in the movie and not trying to decipher between the two. But obviously, music plays a big role.
Everybody knows the Avengers
emotion.
Yeah,
which I think they did do just fine with that. Which is why we were so emotional, I think, because in those quiet moments between them talking in the movie, you had that music playing in the background, which brings you to your emotion. So I don't know. I think when there's no dialogue, they did just fine. But again, I'd have to see it again because
I want to see it again.
I wasn't really paying attention too much to that.
Yeah, I feel like I still feel like the music was lacking. I didn't see who scored the movie. I'm assuming it could possibly be the same person who's scoring all the Avengers movies, and that name is escaping me at the moment. But I do feel like now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking of what are things that I can... we can talk about the end credit scene without telling what the end credit scene was. I thought that the end credit scene, my opinion, was trash. Super trash. I really can't say anything more. Well, it's going to end up... The end credit scene actually didn't give anything. No. It added nothing to the movie. No. Of course, they're meant to propel a story forward. And that's really all I can say. I'm just like, thanks. We already knew that. I don't know. Yeah. I can't say anything more.
No, I just was thinking about what happened.
Well, you didn't. I can't even say that. There's a movie that you haven't seen that has an end credit scene.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, and I can't. Yeah, I can't. You can't talk about it.
Well,
anyway.
let's watch it tonight.
No, we gotta go to bed. Anyway,
I was yawning. Like,
did you have anything?
Partially.
Did you have anything else?
No, I think if I say anything else, I'm gonna pull Tom Holland. So.
Yeah, I know. I want to see the movie again.
Yeah.
It was worth the money though.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're gonna pay to go see it again. So.
I think the biggest takeaway for me, and then I want you to give your big takeaway. Is the morality in Tom Holland's performance in portraying Peter Parker, I think was... Look at the shadows in the back.
I know.
Can you not? All the animals in the studio. Was Tom portraying Peter and who Peter was, which was super, super great. And... learning who Peter is and why Peter's the way that he is and being an avatar. And what I mean by that is being somebody in the audience and watching something that's happening on screen and putting yourself in that position. I think the movie made me feel empathy for what was happening on screen. And that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
You're not a big Halo fan, but one thing that's super cool about Halo is Master Chief is the main character. And Master Chief, a.k.a. Spartan 117, we never see his face.
Yeah.
And that's done deliberately because you're Master Chief. Mm-hmm. So you see him progress through his story, and because you never see his face, we don't get a gender, skin color, nothing like that.
Yeah, like some sort of emotional tie to him.
Physical tie. Anybody can be Master Chief.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be Peter Parker, because Peter Parker was so human in this movie.
Yeah, I think that's probably my biggest takeaway as well, is like you said, the morality of him and his morals and what shows through that. And I think, like I touched on earlier, is I enjoyed everyone's acting in the movie. I think they did a really good job with their roles, and that's pretty much it. Like, you really get to see the depths of who Peter Parker is, not just him being Spider-Man. I think that I really like that, and Spider-Man's my favorite, so I really...
Yeah, he's my favorite Marvel hero. Second is Star-Lord for sure, and then third would be Silver Surfer. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we get more of that soon, but I really enjoyed the movie.
Same these
guys. Thank you for listening to this Insta take of Spider-Man No Way Home. We will have a spoiler episode coming out soon explaining all the details of what we loved about the movie. I'm sure we'll go see it a couple more times before we do that in its entirety, but I was your boy, iTzKonKon, and sitting next to me,
Tashi Station,
and we'll catch you later.
Bye.